Why did Mr. Penguin leave his pack, leaving his friends?
Then Kamani, thank you so much for the $10 as well over on Venmo.
Saying fake things that I didn't say, lying. So I don't feel bad. I feel all right.
As long as you say that I didn't defeat your argument, therefore I didn't defeat your argument.
Trying to respond for however long I've been up here to everything you're saying, and you're not letting me.
Yeah, I definitely am. Like right now.
On the topic.
Like literally, like right now.
Okay. Well, you're talking while I'm talking.
What a bad time to make that point.
Embarrassing. You're talking while I'm talking, so let me talk. So
I've actually said, and you're not letting me. You stopped talking, then I started talking. You're wrong again.
Okay, so my turn now. Yeah. On the topic of parents, do you feel bad for Charlie Kirk's parents?
Are they still alive? Like, if they're still alive, you know, like, dude, I bet that losing a child is hard, man. I mean, what I'll say is I bet that it's really fucking hard to lose a child.
So do you feel bad for them?
Do I feel bad for them losing a child?
That's what I asked you.
Yeah, I'd say I feel bad for them losing a child.
Yeah, it's not a hard question to answer. I'm just seeing if you have any humanity still. That's a good answer. Good job. Now, which one do you want me to respond to?
This conversation is about Trump, by the way.
Okay, I support Trump because he secured the border. I support Trump because he didn't want to infringe on two-way. I support Trump because he doesn't support men and women's sports. I support Trump because he released the files. I support Trump because he didn't mandate things that the other side mandated. There's a lot of other reasons, but you could pick which one you want to go there, my sweetheart.
Yeah, you said that you support Trump because he released the files. I mean, we just had a Jamie Raskin point out that they have illegally redacted his name over 950,000 times in the files. Not to mention that he didn't release the files with ease. He was forced to by Congress after he even broke the law in an attempt to stop them by having Mike Johnson delay the swearing-in ceremony of Adelita Grahova for over like a month.
Adelita couldn't get sworn in because the government was shut down because the Democrats voted no on the no gap bill. That's a lie.
Even before and after the shutdown.
The moment the shutdown ended, they swore her in. So why are you lying?
It was before the shutdown. I'm telling you, not to mention, not A, it was before the shutdown, and B, Mike Johnson could have sworn her in during the shutdown because Congress is still deemed as an essential property that is in operation during the shutdown. Government shutdowns do not stop swearing in ceremonies of congressmen.
No, he couldn't. He was following the precedent of Nancy Pelosi, the precedent that she sent. And also, you just blatantly lied about something else very important. You said that Trump... Hold on. Let me respond, please. Sir, I'm trying to have a good convo with you. Reset, be a human being. Thank you. Donald Trump is the reason the files got released because on September 10th, when they took out Charlie, the American hero, 3 hours prior to that, the House...
This guy's so upset. Dude, when are you going to take it out of your mouth, dude?
First off, if it's in my mouth, that's not even being yay. That's just being appreciative because he's an American hero. Now, listen. 3 hours prior...
Wait, would you suck Trump's cock because he's an American hero?
I was talking about Charlie, and since you asked about Trump, I don't think it would be gay if I did. I think that'd be appreciative because he saved this nation.
So would you do it?
Would I do what?
Would you suck his dick?
Based on the theory I just said, I absolutely would because that's and that's all right to be gay too.
No, I'm just saying, like, you'd do it.
No,
this isn't even homophobic. Like, it's like you'd suck his dick as a straight man, not because, like, because you think that he saved the country. You're saying that you'd suck his dick as a straight guy because he saved the country.
When did I say I was straight? I'm not straight.
Oh, I mean, if you're
why'd you make that face? Are you homophobic?
Not straight?
No, I'm not. So why are you
Holy fuck, my guy. Let's talk about that. I'm not homophobic at all, but you just gave me like about a billion other reasons why you shouldn't support Trump as president.
Okay, well, hold that thought. I want to answer something else you just said that's important.
Wow.
We can talk about why you're homophobic.
That's only relevant insofar as like why you shouldn't support Trump because of his condemnation of the LGBTQ plus community.
Hold on. He loves the gays. Haven't you ever heard him? We love the gays. Have you ever heard that? I'm gays for Trump. Now listen, you said that he did not release the files. Just let me get a sentence out. I've been up here for however long. You're not even letting me talk. So when Charlie was assassinated, 3 hours prior to that, they voted on releasing the Epstein files. Every House Republican voted no except for like 2. So it didn't work. Then they tried a unanimous consent. That failed. So a reporter asked Donald Trump, what's up with the files not being released? Why aren't they getting released? What do you think about the House Republicans voting no? And he said, that's unacceptable. We have nothing to hide. Every House Republican needs to vote yes on releasing the files. And then they followed suit and listened to him on the next vote. And it passed the House, it passed the Senate, and then he signed it into law because he said to do it.
Okay. Well, I mean, yeah, what a terribly washed version of history. But anyways, to clarify what actually happened, so the Democrats started a coalition in Congress to force the release of the Epstein files by getting a petition to the floor of the House. They had 3 Republicans.
Start over. You cut out. I want to hear you. Start over. You cut out. Sorry.
The Democrats started a coalition to force the release of the Epstein files by getting a petition to force the release on the floor of the House. At that point, they didn't possess a majority. So then they tried to get a majority, by convincing Republicans to sway their way. They were able to get 2 Republicans to sway their way. They still needed 1 other person in order to get that majority. That's when Adelita Grajova won her special election in the 7th District of Arizona. And then that's when Mike Johnson, then refused to swear in. And then the AG of the state of Arizona actually started pursuing charges against Mike Johnson for obstruction before ultimately Mike Johnson caved. But once Adelita Grajova was sworn in, they possessed a majority in the House of Representatives to force the vote on the petition to force the release of the Epstein files. Then the Trump administration turned around, actually said it was an act of hostility to vote for the release of the Epstein files in Congress. Like, I'm actually being like dead ass. That's what Caroline Leavitt said. The White House said it is an act of hostility to vote for the release of the Epstein files in Congress. Keep that in mind. That's really fucking important. And then the Trump administration started an attempt to change and sway the minds of the Republicans, meeting with Lauren Boebert, trying to convince her to take her name off the discharge petition list, meeting with Nancy Mace, trying to convince her to take her name off the discharge petition list, meeting with Georgia white woman, really annoying, MTG, try to get her to take her name off the discharge petition list. They failed. They then started punishing them, like they punished Lauren Boebert because Trump vetoed her clean water bill for 55,000 Coloradian residents, including people in my district here at home in Colorado, all because she refused to take her name off the discharge petition list. And then finally, when they possessed that majority to force the release of the Epstein files with that majority in the House, Donald Trump turned around and he said, well, I don't want 2 political mass chaotic events on my hands. I don't want them to figure out that I'm in the Epstein files with 7 allegations and that I didn't want Congress to release the files. So then he was like, hey, why don't you guys just go ahead and vote for them, after he called it an act of hostility, after he delayed the swearing ceremony of Adelita Grajova, and after he talked to the Republicans that put their names on the discharge petition list in an attempt to get them to take it out.
Okay, so please let me respond to everything you just said to have a good conversation and let the 14,000 people hear all the facts, all right? I heard you. Here's the reality, though. I literally saw some gentleman named Red, White, and True come up here and play a clip of Boebert to you of her saying she was not pressured in exactly what you just said. So Boebert was not pressured. I saw the clip from that Red, White, and True guy when he talked to you, okay, for one. 2, Mace did the same thing. There's a video out there of Mace being asked, was she pressured? And on camera, she said no. In fact, Boebert, when asked about it, said, I was not pressured, and he's actually a hero, and I wish you would treat him as such. Why did
because
Trump...
she's a fucking Republican. Dude,
listen,
wait, I could show you the pressure. Why did Trump... Wait, 1 second. I will literally show you the consequences for her act. 1 second. I need a response to this question. Literally, the consequences for her not taking her name off that discharge petition list were Donald Trump vetoing her clean water bill. Okay?
That's what I'm about to say. I'm about to answer that.
Why did Donald Trump veto her clean water bill?
And why did he veto it? He didn't do it because of that. He vetoed it because when that bill was initially brought about, it was supposed to be paid by local tax dollars, not federal. That bill was going to use federal tax dollars for a state-run water program. Why do you twist lies? I know you know that. Look it up, anybody. So you just lied about Boebert Mace. You lied about Adelita.
1 second.
MTG,
the Republicans in Congress supported this. The GOP supported Lauren Boebert's water bill, regardless of where it was getting money from. And by the way, of course, it would be using federal funding. Well, I'm not sure. I'd assume that it was using federal funding because it was a piece of federal legislation. No fucking shit. Okay?
It was a water bill for a state, but guess what's his reason for vetoing it? And another reason. There's more.
The rest of the GOP disagreed. The rest of the GOP disagreed. You understand that they actually overturned Donald Trump's veto on that water bill, and that was driven by Republicans. In fact, that would overturning Donald Trump's veto on Lauren Boebert's water bill was literally overturned by my local Republican representative in my district that is like a total alt-right piece of shit. Lauren Boebert's water bill was supported unilaterally and totally by the GOP. In fact, it was Republicans that advocated to overturn his veto. So obviously, no other Republican had an issue with it. Obviously, the GOP didn't have an issue with it. And obviously, Trump didn't have an issue with it before she voted for the release of the Epstein files, or else it never would have even gotten to the floor with him saying, no, you can't do that.
Everything I just said still stands. And another reason that he chose to veto that.
You, just you, building your app on Base 44.
You lied about Mace.
I didn't lie about Boebert. In fact, I want your source on both of those things right now. I want to look at your evidence. Just to explore it, I want to look at your evidence.
For which part? Them on camera saying what you said is false?
No. Okay. For your claims
Bring up the red, white, and true guy. I just saw him
bill.
in the comments. He's one of my
I
sources.
said that I want your sources insofar as why Donald Trump overturned and vetoed Lauren Boebert's clean water bill.
Well, why don't you Google it real quick and say, why did Trump veto the bill? That's all it takes.
I think that you'll have to point me towards the specific references.
I don't have my source rate on me. I'm not at home.
Great. Well,
put it this way, though. Buddy. Hold on. 13,000 people listening can Google that themselves. It's simple. It's easy. Now, MTG, it was not because
we're not done with Boebert.
Oh, well, that's embarrassing for you.
Because you never responded to my counter argument. I told you that the totality of the GOP supported her water bill, but then suddenly after, then suddenly after she voted for the release of the Epstein files, Donald Trump vetoes it.
Well, the reality is, you might disagree with this, but me and millions of people agree. Republicans and Democrats are the same team, right? They're called rhinos, deep state, Illuminati, whatever you want to say, Dean. Okay.
So, automatically. So is Lauren Boebert a rhino?
It's just, I don't think so based on all of her actions so far, because what you're saying is a fake narrative, right? I just disproved you. It's on camera.
You didn't disprove anything. You made a claim that I refuted by bringing up the fact that the totality of the GOP supported Lauren Boebert's clean water bill. The totality of it. You can't just say every member of the GOP, every Republican supported Lauren Boebert's clean water bill because they're rhinos and advocated to overturn Donald Trump's veto of it, because then all of a sudden, all Republicans ever are rhinos.
Everything I said is fact checkable. Just look it up right now. I got your supercomputer. And while you're doing that, MTG, the reason he had a falling out with MTG was her stances on tariffs and other foreign policy, which I actually might even agree with MTG on some of that. But that's where the falling out came from. And I'm ahead of you, by the way. It's the same for Massey as well. When you want to bring Massey up, it's not because of Epstein stuff. It's from their viewpoint on his tariffs and trying to veto the big, beautiful bill. That's where the problem lies with him and them.
Wait, do you support Massey?
I at first was kind of indifferent because I did see you talking about him a few times. I watched him the other day, and I don't after what I watched in that hearing with Pam Bondi, because he acts just like you. You're 21, or 20 or 19.
Of course. 18. Bro, it is so fucking hilarious that you consider yourself to be an American patriot because you don't actually support any type of patriotism that we see from anybody, even Republicans. Okay? By far, Thomas Massey is the Republican that I have the very most respect for, because Thomas Massey, unlike his counterparts that you love and said that you literally suck their cocks of, okay? Literally, that's what you said, okay? Was the fact that he wanted to fight for the survivors. He wanted to fight for the victims. He wanted to fight for transparency. He wanted to fight against the tyranny that we see just draining out of the Trump Department of Justice. Okay. He called the DOJ out. He called them out for concealing the identity of one of Donald Trump's, Jeffrey Epstein, sorry, Freudian slip, co-conspirators. He called them out for making a shit ton of very illegal redactions that were not protecting the identities of survivors, but rather protecting politicians and powerful, rich billionaire CEOs because of their reputational harm and embarrassment. And you're telling me that you don't support him. How can you sit here and tell me that you do not support Thomas Massey when Thomas Massey is the man that got Donald Trump's deranged and corrupt DOJ, okay, to unredact one of their illegal redactions of a Trump once again Epstein co-conspirator?
Because those are lies, and based on his behavior,
that's not a lie.
He was like you the other day. But listen,
1 second.
I got the Boebert clip.
No. You just called that a lie. No, I'm sorry. You just called that a lie. We have to talk about that because that is not a lie. It is absolutely true, okay, that when Thomas Massie walked into the DOJ, they had redacted the name of one of Jeffrey Epstein's co-conspirators, the ex-CEO of Victoria's Secret. I'm sure that there's people watching the stream right now that know his name.
You'll like my
and
answer.
then the moment he called them out, then the DOJ responded by saying that we redacted it there. Right? The DOJ literally admitted to it, and you're up here calling it a lie?
No. Well, first off, to clarify real quick, you and I both do not like PDFs. Okay, I hate PDFs. I hate evil people that do bad stuff.
You support somebody who sexually exploited girls as president.
No, he didn't.
Yes, he did. Okay, he admitted to it.
Sir, you're all over the place and you're being erratic. I want to respond to your points. We keep going through 20 different things. You don't let me respond. You mute, you rant.
Yeah,
right?
who's
like brought up another one. So I would love to respond to what you just said about saying he did stuff to, when you're talking about the pageants, I guess, or whatever. You're saying so many things. Let me actually respond to one.
Yeah, for sure. Go
now,
ahead.
Take a step back. You said Boebert was pressured. I found the clip. Hold on, listen.
An administration is going to continue to be transparent and honest, and we'll see what comes of it. But there was no pressure, and everybody was great and worked just well with it.
Oh yeah. Believe Lauren Boebert's word of mouth to save face, so she doesn't continue to get her policy acts. Apart from the independent, one moment. Apart from the independent verified fact check claims from White House insiders that have been publicized by all major reputable institutions of journalism that have gone unaddressed, unnoted, and unsued by the Trump administration. Literally every single major institution of journalism in this country reported that members of the White House sat down with Lauren Boebert and attempted to get her to take her name off the discharge petition list. And obviously, she would say that she wasn't pressured by the Trump White House, because what happens to people in Congress that speak out against Trump? They get fucked. They get burned. They get outcast. They get thrown out of the race. Literally, MTG had to pull herself out of the next of this midterm cycle and retire because of how fucked and burned she got by the Trump administration after she spoke out against them. Like, no shit, Lauren Boebert is going to say that she wasn't pressured by the Trump administration. That's so clear.
Okay, so Dean Withers doesn't believe women. Got it. You believe articles. I believe the women.
Wow. Oh, do you believe women?
Dean, can I respond?
No. Do you believe women?
I do believe women.
So you believe E. Jean Carroll?
Hold on.
You believe E. Jean Carroll?
That one, the evidence in that case was weak.
This guy doesn't believe women.
Well, let me talk. Two things. One, I also have the clip of Nancy Mace saying it. Hold on.
The president, did he ask you to take your name off the discharge?
No, he has not. So we played phone tag last 24 hours, and I talked to him last Friday. He helped me get brain surgery for a young woman in Virginia. He's a remarkable human being, and I wish you guys would treat him for the hero that he is.
Now, for E. Jean Carroll, okay.
One moment. I want to respond to that first. Yet another example. Once again, MTG spoke out against Trump. She had to resign from running again in the midterms for the safety of her and her family. When people speak out against Trump, they get fucking burned. Same example, same thing as Boebert. If it was not true that the White House tried to pressure Lauren Boebert and Nancy Mace into taking their names off of the discharge petition list, then we would have never seen every single major institution of journalism and news in this country report that White House insiders pressured Nancy Mace and Lauren Boebert into taking their names off the discharge petition list. And if that reporting was false in violation of the law, well, then we would see Donald Trump suing their asses. We would see Donald Trump blasting their asses. We would see Caroline Leavitt maybe mentioning it once, but they didn't mention that reporting once. They didn't launch any lawsuits. They didn't even call it false, okay? Because they knew that ultimately they would destroy the fucking lives of the people they did this to if they spoke up. And that's not a conspiracy theory. That's exactly what happened to MTG. That's exactly what happened to Thomas Massie. That's exactly what happened to the 7 Democrats in Congress that urged members of our military to abide by their oath. Donald Trump literally said that he wants them killed, that he wants them hung, that he wants them publicly executed. So obviously Nancy Mace and Lauren Boebert aren't going to tell the truth and say that he pressured them into doing this, or else maybe their head would be on the chopping block. Maybe their families' lives would be at jeopardy. Maybe Donald Trump would be calling for their execution. That is is like clearly the best decision for them to make in that scenario, considering the fact that they're already a part of a party that's built on lies. They're already part of a party that denies common sense, reality, and fact. And they already know that you'll eat it up with no evidence whatsoever because you believe any narrative with no evidence when it's convenient to you, and you dispute fact with an insurmountable amount of evidence when it's not convenient to you. Like, for instance, you'll sit here and believe Nancy Mace, you'll sit here and believe Lauren Boebert, but you won't believe E. Jean Carroll, but you won't believe Mariah Delgado, the 17-year-old girl at Miss Teen USA that said Donald Trump walked in on her while she was naked. You won't believe the other 3 unnamed teens that said Donald Trump walked in on them while they were naked and underage. You won't believe Miss Vermont from Miss USA in 1997 who said Donald Trump walked in on her naked. You won't believe Miss Massachusetts or Miss Arizona from 2000 and 2001 when they said Donald Trump walked in on them naked. You won't believe the 6 people that reported to the FBI that Donald Trump raped them as children. And you won't believe the 1 woman who reported to the FBI in a sit-down interview under penalty of perjury that Donald Trump raped her as a child too. And you won't even believe Trump when Donald Trump says that he sexually exploited women and girls backstage at beauty pageants by walking in on them while they're naked. Do we see just how inconsistent your narrative truly is?
Please, and let me respond. So what you do is, right, you said 7 things. I'm about to respond to them. As I say one thing, I'm going to say something that you disagree with, but you're going to jump in and then not let me talk and say 7 more things as you've done this entire conversation. I have an answer for everything you just said because everything you just said is actually not true. So first thing, to recap, Mace and Boebert, I believe them because I do believe women. We just heard them say that on camera. It's weird you don't take their word for it. You brought up MTG. I already told you earlier in the convo of why they had a falling out. It had nothing to do with the Epstein files. I hope you were listening.
That's what she
now
said.
You brought up the pageants. Hold on. Now you brought up the pageants.
Wait. Why
See,
won't
look,
you
you're
believe
doing what I said.
MTG when
You're
she
doing
says that
exactly
it's
what I
about the
said.
Epstein files?
You're doing
But you will
doing
believe
exactly what I
Nancy
said.
Mace and Lauren
You're
Boebert
doing-
when they say
you're
that
doing exactly what I said
Donald
you
Trump
You're
didn't
doing
pressure them.
Listen, you said things that I wanted to interject, but I couldn't
Sure,
because
go
you
ahead.
like to be grapey and mute and be controlling and weird.
Did you say I'm rapey?
Yes. That's why people grape. They like the power of it. You mute and
you just said that I'm rapey? Well, man, way to bow out of the debate, dude. Yeah, honestly, whenever you're losing a debate, just call like the rape victim that you're debating a rapist. No, man, super duper gallant, and I mean just truly like indicative of like high levels of emotion, very high levels of emotion, very high levels of immaturity. And for everybody, yeah, I mean that's just great. Call the rape victim you're debating a rapist as soon as you lose the debate as a way to bow out. Yeah, that just makes a lot of sense. A couple people I want to thank here real quick. Thank you so much, Michael, for the $20, who says, sending you money just for putting up with this guy. I've lost so many brain cells just listening to him. No, man, he's easy work. I mean, it wasn't too crazy. I mean, he's really dumb, so it's easy work. I appreciate you so much for the $20, Michael. Paige, thank you for the $10, who says, you completely changed my views and beliefs in the best way possible. Thank you. Well, thank you so much for the $10, Paige. Ben, thank you for the $5. Lillian, thank you for the $10. Thank you so much for that, love, Lillian. Angel with the 5. And then Sarah, thank you for the $20, who says, why is he so sassy? Well, I mean, I think we understand now. He's just very mad that I'm smarter than him. Thank you for the $20, Sarah. Mason, thank you. Tavi, sorry. Thank you so much for the $10. Hannah, thank you so much for the $20. She says DNC money. Thank you so much for that love, Hannah. Show some up to Hannah down below. And then Ian, that is EAN. Thank you for the $50 donation over on Venmo, who says, tell my girlfriend hi for me. Her name is Jasmine, and we watch her YouTube clips every night. Keep up the good work. Well, Ian, huge shout out to you and Jasmine. Show some love to Ian and Jasmine down below in that comment section. I really appreciate y'all so very much for the love. Thank you so much, Ian and Jasmine. By the way, there's like 4 people in that comment section spamming that the guest won. Just know that, like, obvious. Oh, this is actually one of them. Hi, how old are you? How old are you?
28.
No, they're like 14. Okay, listen, children, I don't expect you to understand this, but like when somebody bows out of a debate or like calls the person they're debating a rapist, okay, that means they lost. Yeah. Like when they get really frustrated because their points are getting debunked, so then they call the person they're debating a rapist. That means they lost. All right? This isn't just for people on the right. This is for people on the left too. Like if you ever see me debating somebody and then I just hop to with no context, no reason, no supporting evidence whatsoever, just randomly call them a rapist, that means I lost the debate. If you ever see anybody just randomly call the person they're debating a rapist with no reason whatsoever, they lost. Can we all agree on that? Can every single person watching this live stream agree? Regardless of put somebody on the left, or is it Parker lost the debate? Doesn't matter if, he doesn't. He lost the debate. If you just ever randomly call someone a rapist with no context whatsoever, you lost the debate. All right, so I'm happy we could clear that up. I'm happy to see that we're all like maybe the first bipartisan agreement ever on my live, right? I'd also like to thank, let's see here. Ben, thank you for the $25 who says that caller wasn't mad. They were confused. They came for drama, got facts, and still try to make it about them. Bro, they got cooked hard. I appreciate you for the $25, Ben. Thank you so much. And then Katie, thank you so much for the $10 as well over in Venmo. All right, a couple other people I do want to thank here. Mariana, thank you for the 50 cents. Miriam with the $2. Then also like to thank Deanna. Thank you for the $20 over on PayPal. It says, got to pay my new cult dues. Don't know how you keep your sanity. Keep up the good work. Well, thank you so much for the love, Deanna. I really appreciate you. Please show some love to Deanna down below in the comment section. And then Lane, thank you for the $10 as well. Thank you so much. Then Coley, thank you for the $10. You're awesome. All right, folks. I'm pretty sure that's actually going to be it for the day. Is Jaden on? One second. There might be something important. Yes. All right, folks, that's going to be it from me for the day. But I'm actually going to send y'all over to this other guy's stream who's currently doing a fundraiser for Adam. So go check it out. On TikTok is at Mr. Jaden LeBron, MrJaydenLibran. And I really appreciate everyone so much for tuning in today. If you're watching on TikTok, make sure to hit that follow button on your way out. If you're watching over on YouTube, hit that subscription button, drop a like. I'm not gonna lie, kind of went through war today. I am so fucking tired. Oh my God, I'm literally so fucking tired, dude. My brain is fried and I still have to go to the gym. So I'm gonna hop the fuck off. Peace and love, folks. I love you all. Good night and goodbye.